Get it on, bang-a-gong, get it on.
No, this is Chittagong, not Bang-a-gong.
Oh.
Hi,
Hello.
India.
Hello.
Welcome to Movie Community College.
This is a movie review of Gangs of Wasseypur Part 2.
No, it's not.
We have the same people.
Only a couple. So this is our movie review for Chittagong.
Chittagong.
Based on a true story.
Yes.
Starring Manoj Bajpayee, Nawazuddin Siddiqui,
Ooh.
Raj Kumar Rao.
Pretty good.
It was a pretty good movie.
Pretty good crew.
Yeah, it was a pretty good movie.
I just want to say something. Seriously.
Okay.
FTD really bothers me.
I know.
Because they make references to India's history like,
Right.
so somebody skipped lunch in Bengal. Oh, what was the Bengal famine, dude? Like millions and millions of people died.
Would they really be that bad?
I mean, they talk about like, well, we don't want to choose sides. You know, okay, Satan versus an angel. Who am I to choose? I don't know.
So, are you saying that if they watched this film, they would be like, it was no big deal what the British were doing?
What's your favorite thing about the British? Mine are James Bond movies. Like
when they
what
got
are you talking
overthrown,
about, dude. What do you?
My favorite part was when they got overthrown.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's just so ridiculous.
Okay, so anyhow, this is
a historical film.
Yes, it is based on a true story about
a good story.
It was a good story, and at the time, this was considered British India. Nowadays, this portion of the world would not even be India; it would be Bangladesh. So we basically have the story told from the eyes of young Jhunku, who it's told in flashback form.
Yes.
So at this point, he is an older teenager when he's telling the story. And he basically goes all the way back to like 1929 or something.
Yes, it was in 20s.
And we see Manoj Bajpayee.
Yes,
and,
kind of this charismatic revolutionary
right,
leader.
he's like the leader, right?
And he's gathering these young people. He's capturing hearts and minds.
And he has Nawazuddin Siddiqui and Raj Kumar Rao, who are basically with him. These are the young adults, but they're not right. But they're not kids.
No.
And they're realizing they can get a lot of the young teenagers on board with their plan, which is basically to throw off the shackles of England. So basically the film, like I said, told in flashback form. Young Jhunku is telling how he got involved in this, why he got involved in this. His dad was a lawyer, did not want him involved with this. They were on pretty friendly terms with
the viceroy.
Right. So the British. And this particular British family was, kind to them.
Yes.
But we saw that dude's true colors as soon as Jhunku decided, yeah, you know what? I think instead of going to Oxford, I would rather fight for my country's freedom. So the movie shows the next 5-6 years, basically, of their plight to overthrow England. It shows Manoj Bajpayee, how he's basically able to be in hiding for 5 years and still capture the hearts and minds of the young people and lead this revolution. And then it fast forwards a little bit because we've seen Jhunku get arrested. He goes to jail. He goes to prison. He's shipped off basically to this penal colony where he was the youngest one, and he was there for years.
And he survived 7 years of it.
And he survives, comes back, and the British are basically trying to starve them. They're taking all their crops and their grain and whatnot. And so that's the film, basically, is one big flashback. Him talking to the love of his life, explaining to her why he got involved. He was always worried that she thought that he was a coward when he was young. And, she lives long enough to tell him, no, I never thought you were a coward. At the end of the film, what we see, and I love...
Oh, it was great.
I love when films do this.
This is the best part, I thought.
I love when films do this, where they kind of show the character and then they give you their name and their year, their date of birth, their date of death, and it gives you a little bit of information about them. So it tells us about Nawazuddin's character, Raj Kamal's character, Manoj Bajpayee, and then we get to Jhunku, and it tells us that when this whole thing started, he was basically like 13 years old. And he lived until 2006, so he was like 90 when he died.
Wow.
And at the very end, it shows the actual Jhunku.
Footage of him.
Yes. When he was an old man, just like months or something before he died.
Weeks.
Was it weeks?
Yeah, it was weeks.
I love when they do stuff like that.
Yes.
And so, we got to see that it was a happy ending for him. But he lost a lot of people that he loved, of course, as most people do when they're going through, a revolution like that. But it was a really good film. What did you think?
This wasn't a bunch of clever people in Mumbai sitting down and saying, "Okay, let's write the story. Let's do this." This was history. This was history, and I thought they even presented it very cleaned up version of it. Because
yeah, absolutely.
The Bengal famines were terrible.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill was diverting all of their supplies to England during World War II, and it was so bad that people were like, people are starving. Like, I mean, they're legitimately starving to death. And if you go look at my documentary about the hidden Holocaust of India, you see photos of these people, and it's terrible. And when it's brought up to Churchill says, they're savages. They breed like rabbits. Maybe they shouldn't be doing it so much. Like that's his response to it, the justification of it. So it's a true story, and you see this group of teenagers able to offset I thought very American revolutionary type tactics of guerrilla warfare. Fight a little, hide a little, fight a little, hide a little, and just kind of the death of 1,000 paper cuts on the British.
Right.
And it was a good movie. I remember watching the trailer. I think I watched it with you.
Yeah, we did.
And I thought, well, this looks interesting.
This looks good, right?
And
then we saw it was on Netflix, so we were like, right on, let's watch it.
I like the movie. It's not a Bollywood top 100.
No,
but it's a good movie. If you're into history, you should watch this.
One of the things that killed me in this film
is Siddiqui played a creepy dude again.
He was after the young girl again.
10-year-old girl.
Like, seriously, dude, get somebody your own age. He's a really good actor. He is a good actor.
He is phenomenal. I want him to play me in my life story.
Anyhow, one of the things that killed me in this film was there's a point where a couple of the Britishers are speaking to one another, and the one guy is like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't. The gist of it is maybe we shouldn't be so cruel. And the other guy is like, no, we need to use an iron fist. That's the only way to rule these people. It's the only way to get their attention. And I said to you, because that worked so well with the colonies in America, they tried to do the same thing with the colonists in America, and the colonists were like, no, ruling us with an iron fist is not going to work.
Right.
So, but somehow they thought, well, it'll work with India. I mean, wow, that just kills me. So,
there was a touching moment where Siddiqui's love interest kind of takes up the cause, and she becomes a woman officer in the revolution,
right?
And she gives her life for the fight.
And we knew she was going to. I mean, you could see that coming. As soon as she got shot in the femur, we were like, that's it for her. She's gonna die.
Yeah.
Because at that point, when you're out on the battlefield and there's no medic there, there's no saving you at that point.
Final grade on the movie?
I would give it a B. How about you?
I'd give it an A.
The only reason that I wouldn't give it an A is
history.
Well, I love history, so that's not it for me. I think that, and this might seem ticky-tack to some people, but when you're going to show characters like Jhunku and his girlfriend, Apu was her name, when you're going to show them as youngsters, and then you fast forward and show them, like 10 years older, they look totally
lighter,
different.
Darker, like it was like, yes.
Right. So her as a little
Jhunku
girl.
got white. What
right.
happened? He got his bleaching his skin in
Right.
prison.
As an older kid, a young adult, he looks almost white, whereas he didn't as a kid.
Yes,
and Apu was just the opposite.
Yeah,
she was lighter when she was younger, and then she's darker when she's older. Can you find somebody that's got they at least resemble, you see them 10 years later, and you're like, oh yeah, I could see how that character would look like that 10 years later. They look totally different. So it was stuff like that where I think that they made some errors. So that's why I give it a B. And
that's
again, you think it's ticky-tack. But also I think at the end, they wrapped it up way too quickly.
Yes, way too quick, dude.
And I don't like that. I'm a fan of long movies. So I don't mind if you've taken 2 hours to kind of get to the point. I don't mind if you take another hour.
Finish the point.
Right. Let's finish the point. Let's not okay, now we got to wrap it up quick.
Right.
I don't like that. So that's why I give it a B. But otherwise, I mean, it's a great story.
Young people, go see this movie. Know your history. Know your history.
It's
if you do not know your history, you'll be doomed to repeat it.
Yes. Okay. Are we done with this one?
Yes. I'm just waiting for you to hit stop.
Bye, India.
Bye.